Imagine waking one night, hearing the city breathing in its sleep, knowing that with the turn of a single doorknob you could change the world. You could end one miserable life and set countless others free. Would you do it? Could you? Would your pulse steady itself on a higher morality, or would your hand tremble at the threshold, afraid not of the police, but of the person who would be left staring back at you in every mirror, the person who dared to play God? Tonight, we slip into that shadowed hallway. We follow a thin young man called Raskolnikov, a penniless former student in Dostoevsky's St. Petersburg. He sweats under an August moon, repeating a feverish creed. Some people are ordinary, bound by common law. Others are extraordinary, destined to step over it. Napoleon did, so why not he, the desperate, the brilliant, the bold? That right there is our paradox, a door with two names on it. On one side, crime; on the other, conscience. One opens onto freedom, the other onto torment. Yet both doors are the same wood, the same brass knob, the same silent hinges. Today we investigate which side truly awaits the so-called extraordinary man. The central problem is elegant in its cruelty. If a single murder could deliver wealth to the starving, knowledge to the ignorant, justice to the oppressed, does the weight of that one life vanish in the scales? Utilitarians nod, deontologists shudder, Nietzsche offers a smirk, but Dostoevsky drags us into the gutter, where philosophy bleeds into flesh, because theories are light, yet blood is heavy, and it stains ideas a permanent crimson. We begin with Exhibit A, Raskolnikov's Manifesto, a magazine essay he once authored, half academic, half confession. It argues that humanity advances only when great individuals break old laws. Columbus sailed forbidden seas, Newton shattered cosmic dogmas, Napoleon strode across Europe's map as if it were wet clay. Therefore, true progress demands a few shattered bones along the way. It is the logic of the scalpel, cut to heal, hurt to help, a cold algebra of destiny, spoken with the hush of feverish pride. Exhibit B enters, the pawnbroker, Alyona Ivanovna, a caricature of greed. She hoards rubles, squeezes misery from the desperate. Even Raskolnikov's mother's earrings lie enslaved in her drawer. He convinces himself she is a louse, a cancer cell on the body of the poor. Remove her, redistribute her hoard, and the neighborhood breathes again, a wondrous proof, neat and irrefutable, except proofs bleed too, and the ink is arterial. He raises the axe, the city gasps, the blade falls once, twice. The pawnbroker's sister stumbles in and meets the same brutal logic. Now the ledger is smeared, the sum no longer equals itself. 2 lives for countless benefits. Is that still profit, or has the arithmetic shattered under a moral minus sign? Enter Exhibit C, Conscience. Not the gentle voice we know, but a vast cathedral of thunder that opens inside Raskolnikov's skull. Every footstep echoes like a judge's gavel. Every police whistle is a prophecy. He lies awake, hearing the clock accuse him. The city's bridges leer like gallows. His extraordinary man has become an extraordinary ghost haunting only him. We call our next witness, the utilitarian. He tries to testify that the greatest good has been served. Yet his voice cracks when Sonia appears. Sonia Marmeladova, a destitute girl who sells her dignity nightly just to feed her siblings. She offers Raskolnikov unconditional compassion, something no equation can swallow. She reads him the story of Lazarus, the dead man called back to life. Her tears fall on the cheap Bible paper, and suddenly his grand theory shrinks to a child's cardboard sword, flimsy, wet, useless. The deontologist rises next, declaring that certain acts are forbidden under any banner, a wall no genius may pass, thou shalt not kill, period. But Sonia's forgiveness complicates even that, because law alone cannot resurrect a soul. Only love can. And yet love itself will not erase the past. She can hold his shaking hands. She cannot unspill the blood. The investigator in us presses on. We examine the psychological evidence, dream sequences like crime scene sketches, the horse beaten to death in Raskolnikov's nightmare, a symbol of innocent suffering, perhaps the murdered sister, perhaps his own trampled conscience. The dream ends with the child Raskolnikov screaming at the crowd to stop. The adult Raskolnikov woke that morning and became the very crowd. He cannot outrun the child's scream. It is the siren of his psyche, wailing day and night. We consult Exhibit D, the confession scene, a cramped tavern corner, rain tapping on the window like a relentless detective. Raskolnikov's face is waxen, Sonia's voice barely a whisper. She begs him to bow before God and people. Only then can he breathe again. He falls to his knees in the busy street, kisses the earth that bears the weight of his crime. Passers-by laugh, call him drunk, but the cynical laughter is lighter than his own sob, heavier than any chain. At that moment, the Siberian penal camp begins in his mind, long before the sentence is read. Conflict identified. The extraordinary man theory promised liberation, yet delivered bondage. He sought to stand above society, yet he became chained to everyone he tried to surpass. Every beggar's face looks like the pawnbroker. Every lullaby sounds like the sister's last gasp. He thought he could edit morality like a lawyer edits a clause. Instead, morality rewrote him, line by line, in handwriting of fire. Verdict time. There is no single answer, only a grim tally. Utilitarian math cannot predict the interest that conscience charges. Deontological rules may prevent the crime, but they still cannot heal the wound when rules are broken. Dostoevsky's lesson is brutal. You may escape the scaffold, but you cannot escape yourself. The mind is a tighter cell than any czar could build, and the key is forged from remorse. So we place the question before you, the jury of quiet listeners. Do you believe an ordinary law can bind an extraordinary vision? Or does conscience alone hold final authority? If greatness truly requires crossing lines, then who decides where they are drawn, and who pays when they are crossed? In your life, large or small, have you ever justified a minor wrong for a greater good? Did the ledger ever balance, or does a tiny voice still whisper in the night? If this exploration resonates with you, if the corridors of moral puzzles excite your curiosity, subscribe, share our investigation with a friend, add your verdict in the comments. Was Raskolnikov's real prison the icy Siberian steppe, or the blazing furnace of his own heart? And for now, as always, keep thinking.